Hey guys, my name's Alan Groden, and I have been a Nu Skin distributor since 2010. And I just wanted to put together a short summary of how we get to the money position as a Nu Skin distributor. And I'm going to try to lay this out for you so that things will not be confusing at all. It's actually relatively easy to figure this out. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and share my knowledge with you guys to try to make your beginnings in Nu Skin that much easier. And we're going to start out by just talking about the three things that can summarize everything you need to know about being a Nu Skin distributor. And I actually have my little cheat sheets here, and I'm going to let you guys read along with me. But what you need to know, the three main things that you need to know about being a Nu Skin distributor and being a successful Nu Skin distributor is, number one, you want to get to the executive position as soon as possible. So you want to become an executive as soon as possible. And I'll explain what an executive is in a few minutes. After you become an executive, then you want to become an executive factory, which means that you want to help produce more and more executives in your organization. And if you can do these two things, you're going to be extremely successful as a Nu Skin distributor. So again, become an executive as soon as possible, and then become an executive factory. Churn out more and more executives in your organization. And then the third thing that you need to know, probably the most important thing, is that we are paid on our volume. So every month we get a paycheck for the volume that we've created in our organization the previous month. And I will also be explaining what volume is. In fact, I'll do that right now. Every product that Nu Skin sells has a dollar amount and a volume amount. And the volume amount and the dollar amount are usually very similar. So for example, a product that costs $100 is usually around 100 points of volume. So when I say we get paid on our volume, basically we're getting paid on our dollar amounts or dollar sales for the previous month in our entire organization, not just what we've done, but what the people in our organization have done. So again, we get paid on our volume, and that's a very, very important point to know, because your goal is to create the biggest amount of volume that you can and help create that in your organization, so that at the end, when the company looks at all that volume, they're going to cut you a check based upon the volume amount. So the bigger the amount, the bigger the check. Okay. Now, I always say that there's two numbers basically that you have to know to be successful in Nu Skin, and as you're starting out. The two numbers that you need to know are 1,000 and 4,500, and these represent volume amounts: 1,000 points of volume and 4,500 points of volume. So those are really the only two numbers that you need to concern yourself with at the beginning of your Nu Skin experience. Nu Skin will give us 3 months to get to the position called executive. So 3 months from the time we start, we can become an executive. And the way that we do that is by creating volume in all 3 months. How we do it is like this. In your first month, so let's say this is July, I'm actually recording this in July. In the first month, let's say of July, you need to create 1,000 points of volume, which is similar to $1,000 of product sales. And once you do that 1,000 points of volume in your first month, you've satisfied an important milestone in your experience. And then we're going to move on to the second month. But when you do your 1,000 points of volume, let's say you do it in July, you have attained a level called LOI. And the LOI stands for letter of intent, and I'm going to explain that in a minute. But let's just say for now, 1,000 points of volume basically creates the LOI, which then unlocks the door to lead to executive status. In your second month, the company says that you need to create a minimum of 1,500 points of volume. That second month is called your Q1 month, or your qualifying executive 1 month. So first month you did 1,000, you did your LOI. Second month you'll do 1,500. That's your Q1 month, your qualifying 1 month. And in the third month, you'll do 2,000 points of volume minimum. And that will have been your Q2 month, or qualifying 2 month. The 3 steps here, the 3 months here, are the way to get to the executive level. If you do these 3 things in these 3 months, you will be considered an executive. And an executive, if you remember at the very beginning, I said, become an executive as soon as possible, and then become an executive factory. So these are the minimums that the company will have you do for the first 3 months. Now, you can actually combine these together and get to executive that much quicker. You'll notice that when you add these 3 numbers up, it's the 4,500. So there we have the 1,000 in the first month and the 4,500 total that gets you to executive. And once you're an executive, there's no limits on how much money you can make every month. The sky is the limit. Okay? So let's do a little summary here, and let's just walk you through starting in Nu Skin. Your first step is that you sign up as a distributor. And many of you watching this have already signed up as a distributor, but we need several pieces of information to get you going in the business, such as your name, address, phone number, email address, birth date, and social security number. Once the company has that information, you are a Nu Skin distributor. You now own your own Nu Skin business. So step 1, become a distributor. Step 2, is to do your LOI, which is predicated on creating 1,000 points of volume in any month. So once 1,000 points of volume are created by you in any month, you can then file your LOI, your letter of intent. And the way you do that is you go into your Nu Skin account online, and you just click a little box that says, I'm doing my LOI, I'm doing my letter of intent. Basically, your letter of intent is just stating to the company that you are intending to get to the executive level and to make lots of money with Nu Skin. So you're basically making a statement. There's nothing to sign. You just check a little box in your account, and then we're good to go. By doing that, you move on to step 3, which will be your second month, which is called the Q1 month, or qualification for executive 1 month. And you need to do 1,500 in that month. And then you move on to the third month, or step 4, which is your Q2 month, your qualifying 2 month. These are called qualification months because what it is once you've done your 1,000 points and done your LOI, you are considered a qualifying executive. You're basically on the train to get to the executive level, which has been our goal from the beginning. So 1,000 the first month, 1,500 the second month, and 2,000 the third month. And as I said, you can go quicker than that. You can do all 4,500 in the first month, or you can do 1,000 in the first month and do 3,500 in the second month. Many people do that. It's the way to go. If you want to get to the money position, which is the executive position, the quicker you get there, the more money you're going to make sooner. So if I told you the money is at the executive position, what you might be thinking is, I want to get to that executive position as soon as possible. So once you go through your LOI, your Q1, and your Q2, you are now an executive. Yay! And that has been your goal from the beginning. So the deal is, the executive position is predicated on 4,500 points of volume. In your mind, you should be thinking, I need to make and create 4,500 points of volume. And I'm going to tell you how volume is created in a short minute here. Once you are an executive and your commissions go higher when you are an executive, once you're at that position, you'll be having 2 groups of people in your organization. One group is called your circle group, and the other group is called your executive breakaway group. So what are these 2 groups? Your circle group is made up of everybody in your organization who has not yet become an executive. So that would be your customers, and that would be your distributors, and that would be your qualifying executive people on their way to the executive status. So everybody who is in your downline, whether you signed them up or whether people in your downline have signed others up, all those people are considered your circle group. Once somebody goes executive, once somebody attains their 4,500 points in your downline, whether you sign them up or someone else has signed them up in your downline, that person breaks away from your circle group and enters another group in your organization called your executive breakaway group. So they have become an executive and they have broken away from the circle group. And the thing is that you don't lose that person when they break away. They're not breaking away from you. They're breaking away from the circle group into a special executive group where most of the money is made for you. It's great. Remember I said become an executive and create more executives, become an executive factory. So in that, the more executives you have in that executive breakaway group, the better, because you're going to make big commissions on all those people, on all their organizational volume. This is how you're leveraging others' efforts for your own good. And each person in those groups will also be able to have their own executive breakaway groups. So these are your two groups. It's important to know the difference. We talked about volume, and I want to say how volume is created, because we're paid on our volume. So what is volume? So volume is just the dollar amount of all your product sales that you have for yourself and in your group. And I always say there's 3 ways to create volume. And every day when I wake up in the morning, I think to myself, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, what can I do today to create volume in my organization? What can I do to make my volume more and more and more, so that at the end of the month, when the company looks at all the volume in my organization, my check is as big as possible? So here's the 3 ways to create volume. The first way is you buy products. Now, as a Nu Skin distributor, you want to know what you're selling. So my recommendation is get your hands on some of the products and try them. Everyone who uses the products loves them. And you'll see people who say, well, I can't really sell something if I don't really try it. So the idea is buy products yourself, create volume in your organization for yourself and in your organization. The second way is to sell products to others, sell products to customers. And that creates volume for you. And then the third way is to sign up distributors under you who will end up buying and selling products. And then they will also be signing up more and more people. So the idea is to get as many people in your downline as possible who get more and more people into their downlines, which is also in your downline. And this volume number can go astronomical if you try really hard, because it's not just about the volume that you yourself create, it's about the total organizational volume, which is everybody's volume in your downline. So I'm going to reiterate the third tenet, which was we are paid on our volume. So just know that each and every day you should be trying to create volume, because if you get paid on your volume, you don't want to wait till the very end of the month to start creating volume. You know, we don't have a brick and mortar business here. This business can be done anywhere. It can be done at your home, at the beach, in your car, when you're walking, on vacation, anywhere you can do this business. So if you did have a brick and mortar business, you're not going to wait till the 20th of the month to start taking money into that business. You need to create income and volume in your own business every day that you're working. Well, the same thing holds true here in Nu Skin. Many people wait because they don't really have any bills to pay with Nu Skin, so they just kind of put it on hold. But my recommendation, my strong recommendation, is to create volume every day. Whether you're purchasing a product for yourself, whether you're selling products to your friends and family and relatives and neighbors and business associates and people online, however you're doing it, you're creating that volume. And one of the best ways to create big volume is to sign up distributors who are also creating volume for themselves and their families and their downlines and things like that. So just remember, we're paid on our volume. Just remember, become an executive as quickly as possible, and then become an executive factory.